Hey everyone, welcome back to our next installment of the fractions videos. Um, I've got my good little friend again. I keep on calling her little. She's probably a bit older than little anymore now. I've got Alana with me again. She did a great job in the last video, so I've hired her for the second video. Alana, that does not mean that you're getting paid for this. This is you're doing it because you like me so much. How are we going?
I'm good.
That's good. Are you feeling confident about numerators and denominators?
Pretty confident.
Good. I hope so. So when we're looking at a fraction, there's a couple of fancy words there. We've got the numerator and denominator. And as you're learning, one of the biggest things about is looking at this fraction here, okay, in the symbol form, which we talked about in our last video, and understanding what those two numbers mean. As soon as you understand what those two numbers mean, okay, you can draw any fraction that you want to. And it becomes really, really easy. So one of these numbers is the numerator, and one of them is the denominator. And on the spot, we didn't talk about this. Alana, which one is which?
The numerator is the top number and the denominator is the bottom number.
And can you remember from all those years ago when you first learned fractions, can you remember how to remember the difference between the two? Did you ever get taught a little clue about which one was which?
No.
No, you didn't. So I always remember, obviously I remember the names. You'd hope as a teacher I would, but denominator has a D, and I always think of denominator, and that was the down. That's the one at the bottom. So D for down, that's the one at the bottom there. So you don't really need to remember the names of them. You need to just remember what each of those are worth, okay, what the 1 and the 4 is. So if I scroll down a little bit to one I prepared earlier, okay, numerator is the 1, denominator is the 4, as Alana said. I'm going to draw a picture. Now, Alana said to me before she didn't see my wonderful picture, which was terrible because I drew a great one. I'm going to draw a simple square. Now, when we look at the numerator and denominator, the number at the bottom talks about the total number of parts. And as Alana told us in the last video, equal parts is the important thing in a shape. So if I chop this square into 4 equal parts, or pretty close to 4 equal parts, that's what the 4 refers to. Okay, the 4 means total number of parts. And if you look at this, I have 4. Alana, what does the 1 refer to?
The one is how many parts we're talking about or
Yeah.
how many you'd color.
Beautiful. So when we look at fractions at the start, we always looked at the bits that are shaded. Okay, so in this case, as she said, the coloured part, all right. But the 1 here, as Alana correctly said, refers to the number of parts that we're looking at. So in this particular picture, we're not going to chop that out, we'll keep that in. We've got 1 part selected out of 4 total parts. Do you reckon I explained that well enough?
Yep.
Apart from the tongue bit. Beautiful. All right, this one here. Alana's going to tell me what to draw. Okay, I've got a star there, and I chose that because she is a bit of a star in my eyes. How am I going to do the fraction?
You're going to look at how many parts there are.
Okay, and how many parts are there?
There's 2.
Oh, it's got a face now. How cute. 2 parts. And the number at the top is,
How many parts are colored in? So 1.
so we got 1. And I guess in this one here, half of the shape is coloured and half of the shape is not coloured. Okay, and you know, looking at this, all of you, that this is a half. So if we wrote it in word form, now I apologise, Alana. Actually, this is like your handwriting, if I remember correctly. Oh, harsh. Not that mine was any better. All right. As we scroll down, now I tested her on the last time, and I'm going to test her again this time. Okay. We're going to have a look at these particular fractions, and on those particular fractions, we're going to write down the symbol form and the words that match it. Now, Alana, I said to you before, there's one shape that we should not be doing.
Circles.
Circles. When you're drawing your shapes, guys, don't do circles, okay? The main reason is it's really hard to get equal portions. Now, obviously, computer's done these and they've done it really well, and I should have given you a better example. But as you're learning, try not to do circles. They're a lot harder to draw fractions, especially when you start looking at your thirds and your fifths and stuff like that. Rectangles and squares are a lot easier to chop up. So, Alana, for the first one, what do you think we're going to write in there for the fraction that is shaded?
Well, there's one part shaded,
Perfect.
so we'd put one on the top,
Yep.
and there's 4 parts overall, so
Beautiful.
four on the bottom.
Wonderful. And the most common mistake that people make when they're doing this for the first time is they put one at the top because they recognize there's one shaded, and then they actually say there's 3 bits left at the bottom, and they would put a 3 down there, and we don't want to do that. Well, here'll be a test for you. See if you can use the right language. How would you put this in word form?
I would say 1/4
Good job.
shaded.
Well done. You might notice in different places it says 1/4, and that is also correct. I'm sure Alana now in high school would use 1/4. She probably wouldn't use 1/4. But as we're learning, the fourth helps us to remember that there are 4 equal parts. All right, let's skip through the next ones nice and quickly. What do you reckon for the second one, Alana?
I think this is 1/2, or
Yeah.
1/2.
Beautiful. 1/2. Fantastic. Next one.
I would say that's 2/3.
2/3 because we have 2. I'm just doing by an angle there because I'm running out of space. 2 shaded parts, 3 total parts. Next one.
I would say that's 3/4.
Wonderful, thank you. 3/4. We've got 3 shaded, and we have 4 equal parts. And the last one.
I would say that's 2/3.
I would say that you are correct. Well done. So they've got 2 shaded parts out of 3. And I'll quickly put it in word form, just so we've got it there. We could say half, or probably even better is 1/2. We're looking at 2/3. Now remember, this is maths. It's not a spelling competition, so if you spell the words wrong, it doesn't matter. Okay, 3/4. And finally, oh no, I thought I prepared that earlier. Apparently not. 2/3. Oh, that's terrible. 2/3. Okay, so hopefully that helps you understand when you're looking at a fraction, how to write the symbol form for it. So remember, the numerator is the top one. It's talking about the number of parts shaded. The number at the bottom is the total number of parts. Alana, thank you again. You've saved everyone from just listening to my voice. So well done. And we may see Alana down the track again if she's kind enough with her time, or if she's got nothing else better to do with her time. Thanks, guys. Good luck, and check out the learning today.